Here we go. Good evening, everybody. It is June the 5th, and tonight is going to be a short call with a very specific topic. I'm stepping into the shoes of Mike DiMuccio. As you probably know, he is traveling, and he asked me to host the call. My name is Bernadette McBurnie, and I know probably most of you, if not all of you, so hi, everyone. You may know that this past weekend, I had the privilege and the pleasure to have Mike DiMuccio in my own town in San Francisco, and we had a wonderful time for the Active Wellness Tour. Great meetings. Lots of things were discussed, as you can imagine, and which is the reason why he asked me to share, one of the topics that we discussed. You know how in this business we have two arms, right? We have the retailing and the recruiting, and it's a matter of finding our partners, long-term partners, not just developing silvers, but really the people who want to build this on an ongoing basis. Once again, if I can ask everybody to mute their line, that would be wonderful, because we would avoid the feedback, please. Thank you. As you know, one thing at some point we were talking and say, how do we attract the people with a bigger vision? How do we attract those who really want to make an impact? The product, we know that we need to embrace the product. We embrace the business as well, but sometimes it doesn't feel that maybe we are attracting those long-term vision builder. Does it sound fair to all of you? How can we do that? Well, it really comes, from different things, but one of them is also our posture. How many consultants or people do we know think that I'm going to talk about the products and hopefully some of them will see the big picture? Rings a bell? Or we approach with the business, but then we don't bring the product fast enough, so they don't quite understand. And business is business. It doesn't necessarily create an emotion. And, this business is all about bringing the emotional and the rational at the same time. So, and how many times do we hear consultants say, how do you lead? We've heard that many times. Do you lead with the product? Do you lead with the business? And many knows that Mike and myself and many other leaders will say, we don't lead with any of them. We lead with the vision. Because it's the vision that really make people think long-term versus thinking short-term. That's one thing. But also now, we're on in a different wave in NICAN, right? NICAN has totally different face since the last 18 months, right? Totally different face. How do we convey that to people, that NICAN is different today? And how do we convey the urgency for them to look at it now and not take 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however long they may take to look at NICAN? It comes from our communication, and it comes from our posture as well. So let me run by you this. And actually I see Randy. So Randy, if you allow me, I'm just going to talk to you as if I was talking as a brand new consultant. I say, Randy, if Mr. Kurt Foley was giving you a call, was calling you and said, Randy, this is what I'm asking you to do. I'm not obliging you to do it, but this is what I'm asking you to do. We need to put, Randy, which state do you live in?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, okay. Randy, we really need to put Pennsylvania on the map in a big way, right? And what I'm asking you to do is to find 3 visionary business builders who will want to put Pennsylvania on the map with you. But what he's going to tell you is, and for that, I will give you a bonus of $100,000. Now, here's the question, Randy. Would you go to work?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And now, here's the thing. Because he really said 3 visionary business builders to put Pennsylvania on the map. Now, what are you going to do? Well, I'm sure that all of us on the line understand this. We're not necessarily going to we're going to really pre-qualify people on our list, but we're also going to pre-qualify the candidate. isn't it? Many of us are also coming from the business world, from companies. There's a certain profile, there's certain criteria of those people we would be looking for, isn't it? So we're not going to look for the people who need to be handhelded and all of that. We're going to look for people who have some ambition, who are self-motivated, self-sufficient, who can take initiative, who can rally people behind them. We're going to look for very specific criteria of character, isn't it? Well, to attract those leaders in ECAN, we have also to think that way. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense, Randy? Does it make sense to you?
Yes, it certainly does. And I love that. Just looking for character.
It's character. You know, it's not a profile. It's not a social profile. It's not a professional profile. It's character. Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking for. And I have somebody at the door. You're going to excuse me for just a second. Otherwise, we're going to be, hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. My computer conked out on the last call, but I finally got it working again.
I'll text you.
Okay.
Cheryl, where do you live? Cheryl?
In White Rock, which is about a half hour out of Vancouver, BC.
At Vancouver. Nice.
Bernadette's back.
Sorry, guys. So really what's important is to understand who are the characteristics of the people we're looking for to attract in order to build a team, right? Now, the beauty is, of course, Mr. Kotfoli is not going to call us with that specific request. He's given us something better because he's not capping the bonus to 100,000. And not only that, he's prepared to offer that same bonus to anybody else we bring on board. So the question is, what is our posture as we are talking to people? Are we trying to turn, you know, it's like a deck of cards. A deck of cards has 4 aces. Now, we all know there's 4 aces in that deck, right? We know. It's a known fact. Now, if I shuffle the deck of cards and I turn the cards, do I know when I'm going to see the aces appear? Absolutely not. It could happen right away. It could happen right at the end. But we know we have those 4 aces in the cards. So the question is, how quickly are we going to turn those cards? That is the urgency also that comes from making contacts and creating interest. So, you know, what's amazing, you know, Mark and I mean, as you can imagine, I mean, the energy was high. I mean, we were really just flying high for the last 2-3 days with all the ideas and all the things that we see. But what we wanted to communicate tonight is, you know, we really recommend that each and every one of us, of the consultant, teach that, is that you write down on a card, what are the 5 characteristics of the people, trait of characters of the people that you are looking for. You know how it is when we look for a car, it's time for change of car, and when we know what car we want, suddenly we see it everywhere on the road, right? That car is coming to us somehow. The model, the color. Well, the prospect and the team is the same. We need to know who we're looking for so then we don't waste our time, our effort and energy on those that we don't really want. Because how many times, you know, do we also meet people who say something, but they don't mean it, right? And one way that we know is, for example, they say they're coming to an event and they don't come because they never meant it, right? Or they say they're going to look at the opportunity, but they never look because they never meant it. So we're trying to turn, for example, a 4 of heart to an ace. And we just get frustrated and we keep trying again and we try, but it's going to come, it's going to come. No, it's not an ace. And we waste our time and our energy with the wrong people. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong forever. It just means they're not ready right now. So what I'm saying is don't toss them, it's just make sure that you nurture them and say, no problem. But then our posture is, what, I don't think this is for you at this point in time. Not a problem whatsoever. We can reopen, we just thank you for listening to me and so on. But it's not about begging for a person to look at me can. It's not about begging for a person to look at what we have to offer. We all know what we have is good. We all know that what we have transforms lives in many, many, many different ways, isn't it? So why is it that we behave or talk as if we were begging? Right? So again, think of, we are recruiting the A-team. If I was the owner of a sports team, and we're playing in the major league, I would interview with the coaches, I would interview hundreds of players, right? Until I find those who have the character. Yes, there's some skills, but anybody, skills can be learned. But it's the character that can't be learned. So what are the characters that you're looking for? There's many, and for every one of us on this line, it could be different criteria. That's really important. So that's one message that we really wanted to communicate today is position yourself as, we talk about the law of attraction all the time, and we say it's important us to position ourselves if it's already done. What's beautiful with this is when I said, Mr. Cutford is not going to call us and give us that, make that type of call, but he's given something better, which is the truth. And not only that, he's giving us the compensation plan, the incentive, and it's not limiting to one person. The same opportunity is available to everybody, no matter what their experience is, no matter their age, no matter what age they are, women or men, it doesn't matter wherever we live. So it's a posture. We're going to attract what we think about. So let's attract the right people into our network by understanding how to communicate with them. Make sense, guys? Any ahas? Anything that a few of you would like to share?
Well, Bernadette, I'd like to ask, when you're leading with vision, what kinds of questions do you ask to find out if they have that power behind them in their
That's a great question. That's a great question. And Randy, and by the way, this is why also using the $1 million list is a critical tool. It's a great tool. I've been using that tools, I don't know for how many years. That was, and I really believe this is a tool that is unfortunately not necessarily understood by the field and a lot of time not used. There's a reason why it's called $1 million list, guys, which is the words that you pay attention when you say $1 million list. Million, what does that mean? It's because it really can create $1 million business for us. But we need to use it for what it's supposed to be used for. So it's important not only to do the lists, because, a lot of times people say, I have my list on my phone. You know what, guys? Out of sight, out of mind. I'm all about technology and using technology to ease. But out of sight, out of mind. We really understand what we have in our hands when we see it. So it's really important to do that list, but not just to use the list and drop the names of everybody, but it's also important to do the rating. Do the rating of your candidates. because the first people you want to talk to are those who are 8, 9, 10 score. We want to go through the complete list. The faster, the better. Absolutely. The faster, the better. But we want to go first to the 8, 9, 10. Why? Because these are the people who can influence around them. They're the people who have influence on others versus us having influence on people. Why is it that important? Because we want to find the people who have larger network, more influence, more. We are literally, we're being talent scouts, guys. I don't need to be the best of the best. I just need to have the right team around me. That's really what it is. When somebody tells me, I don't know anybody, I say, not a problem. Who are the people who you know who have a network? They are the people you're looking for. So doing the rating is really important. So to go back to your question, Randy, let's say you are on my list and you have one of those scores. So how would I score you? For example, I know you. And then myself, if you look at the name list, it says we rate ourselves, and we are the score go from 1 to 3. 2, and we score ourselves first, and that is already done for you on the list. We are a 7. What does that mean? And in terms of entrepreneurship, I'm in the middle. I'm a 2. In terms of influence, I'm a 2. In terms of resource, I'm a 2. And in terms of location, I'm 1 because I live within 90 miles of myself. Okay? So I'm a 7. So let's say, Randy, you're on my list. And knowing you, I say, I need to, as far as I know, how would I see yourself? Is Randy more entrepreneur than I am or less entrepreneur? If Randy is more entrepreneur, then you're a 3. If you're less, you're a 1. In terms of influence, I ask myself the question, does Randy has a greater network and more influence than I have? Or does she have less? So it's either 3, either 1 or a 2 if I feel it's the same. In terms of resources, I need to ask myself, if Randy was coming on board, would she be able to get started the same way that I did, which then would be a 2, or would Randy could get started with more than what I did? Then she would be a 3. However, if she's less, it's a 1. And location-wise, does Randy lives local to me within 90 miles or far away? Because it's always easier to do the face-to-face at the beginning anyway, than it takes a bit more experience to prospect, and when with non-local. So when we do that rating, we get to some grade. It could be as low as 4. Actually, it could be as low as 3. And I would say definitely don't start with those because you're not going to turn those stones around quickly. It could, or then you could have anywhere from 3 to 10. The first people we want to talk to are the 8, 9, 10. Those who have more influence or somehow as a whole more than we have. Why? Because usually they just understand better what this is about. And guys, it could be a mom who never worked in her life. It doesn't have somebody in Israel, but it could be a mom who never worked, but she just knows everybody in the community. She's just a go-getter. I mean, it could be that, right? So again, it's not a social or professional profile. It's more of a character than anything else. So Randy, if you were a person like myself on my list, and I said that you are 8, 9, or 10, and I know, so you're a lawyer, and I know how much you know from what I know of you, Randy, you're definitely community-driven. You're looking for making an impact. You really want to make a difference. But I know also you're you're always looking for what else you could do to make an impact from a business or social economy. So knowing that of you, I would call you, and 30 seconds says, Randy, listen, I have something really important that I would like to talk with you. One thing that I really love about you and I respect about you, Randy, is first of all, how much you love people and how much you are motivated in making a difference around you in your community. And it shows with the kind of projects that you've done. So I really give genuine compliments to Randy. What is it that I love and respect about Randy? And saying to her, and this is, Randy, why I'm calling you, because I'm asking for your help. I'm working on something really important and really big that can make a big difference in our communities and in the lives of people. I don't know if this is something that would interest you and would catch your imagination. All I'm asking is that we sit down. I'm asking 20, 30 minutes of your time so I can share with you what it is that I'm working on, and then you can let me know where if it fits with your interest. And if it's not, I will ask for your help anyway to see who maybe you could direct me to. And in the process of that, if it's something that catches your interest, I know we can make a huge difference. And I know that, in the process of it, we can also make it a very profitable adventure if we choose to do that. So it's a very direct approach. And you've noticed I didn't talk about the product. I didn't talk about naked at all. All I'm asking is for help by saying to Randy what I know of her, which is the truth, because again, it has to be genuine compliments, nothing phony, because people will know anyway. And these are people who we love and respect, so it's important. And I know myself when I ask for help, I've never had anybody say no. Once we have a discussion, they may say no. But a lot of time, though, some of them, even though who are not interested in joining us as a business partners, will ask quite often, how do you help people? And so that's when we go through an introduction of the product, an introduction of the business, and that's when that's when we do the one-on-one. So that's the second stage. But that's really what it is. Does it help? Does it answer your question, Randy?
Yes, thank you. That was very nice. Great. And it's a stage process doing the analysis, and then the dialogue, the 30 seconds, just inviting them to help. I like that very much.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And the other tool that just give me a second, I want to take it. One of the business and marketing tools that we have introduced in Orlando is this, the process of information. So what have I done with this, what I've just talked about, is I started from my list, make the contact in order to create interest. That's the step one. And at this point in time, that's when we meet. So afterwards, then learn, the process, because our work is to take people through the process of information, as many people as possible, as fast as possible. I cannot decide or determine who's going to be a customer, who's going to be a consultant, who's going to be a business partner. I have no control over that. The only control I have over is how many people I put through the process of information. They will identify themselves through their interest, through their answer. They will let me know whether or not they want to be a customer, they want to become a consultant, or they want to become a partner. I have no control over that. My job is to take them through the process of information by using those tools, not just the marketing tools that we introduced, but the videos, the ABC, the upline. That's what it is. Because it's when people are educated and have gone through the process of information that they will be able then to decide what's best for them. Agreed, everybody? Makes sense? So this is really what we wanted to talk about. But again, I'd like to bring you back to how I started this call, is what is your posture? How look for the A team. So which means our communication, the words that we use, our approach needs to reflect that if this is what we're looking for. I remember when I was working in corporate and I had to recruit, some people, for example, some engineers to work with me. Well, there's tons of engineers out there. How did I choose one versus the other one? By looking for certain characters, right? Not just their degree. That wasn't enough. For me, that was absolutely not enough. I wanted to see, Are they team players? Are they just listening? You know, again, characters. And then, you know, so I had like 100 candidates, then I boiled it down to 10. And then but in the process of that, so in a way that's what we do in Nikken. So it's not that and here this approach is not to say that we neglect the 90 others and all the others, absolutely not. But this is just knowing who we're looking for in terms of business builders long term. And through that process, all the others will go in those other routes, you know, which is customers, consultant, and the few will be business partners. Right? I did mention that this call was going to be short because, you know, I have another meeting, and when Mike asked me to do it, I said, yes, I can do it, but it will be a short call. So I have literally just another 3-5 minutes that I'd like to open if any of you would like to make a comment, share aha, or maybe ask one question. We have literally time maybe for 1 or 2 questions. That's all.
I just have one question. Sorry, I'm new with Nikken. When you say resources, this is the one I'm confused with because I'm
money.
Literally thinking money. Yes,
money.
But I started this. I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of money to spare. So one of my needs is to get customers so that I can create more money for me. So far.
But you know, in the resources, everybody will start in a different way. Right? Everybody will start in a different way. The key thing is, and I'm sure around, even if you had a limited budget at the beginning, it's critical though to have your product experience to build your confidence. So it's important that we have that. So what is it, you know, when we get started, even if we get started with a limited amount or limited number of products, I would say to you, know, the key thing, know that the more you acquire, the faster. However, whenever you're going to do that, that's up to you to see how you can do it. But the key thing, though, is the more experience you will have, the better equipped you will be. So, you know, so sometimes I have some people who start with little, but they know that, you know, they are planning as they are building customers and creating cash flow, the income and the earning that they earn, they will reinvest in their business in order to get more. They save more, they reinvest. Make sense, Ron?
It does, and to a point, because when I'm creating my list, I'm getting more names put on my list, and I have no idea the resources then when we talk about it in that sense. I mean, it was good for me for the product.
If you don't know
what happened to me.
If you don't know, in that case, just rate them as your own, as yourself, as a tool. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
And one thing, though, that you will learn as you're doing those one-on-one, you'll probably learn by asking questions where they stand. And that's maybe when you could adjust. One thing, and then I will have to end on that, is a lot of time when we start with a limited investment or limited budget, we think we're a bit shy about, you know, in our posture as well. We're a bit shy of that. Well, you know, it's really important. It's all in our head. It's all in our thoughts. It's we think that people can't or won't invest. That's actually what we're going to tell them, even without realizing that's what we're telling them. So it's really important then to ask and work with your upline or your coach to give you the right words. Because I have to tell you, I've seen some people who really started with, they really had not much to get started. But because they were closely with their coach with the right words and the right posture, they were able to bring on board people with much more. So it's important not to let our own limitation limit how we communicate with others. And I'm hoping that makes sense.
It does, because first off, I started with the products because my body wasn't, that was my one pillar that was out. And I had some very positive outcomes immediately. And that's what turned me around. Even though I didn't have the resources to do a whole lot, I did it in baby steps. Well, I'm 75% wellness home now. And I've only been in this for 3 months. And you know what? My biggest thing is, you need to do this because it's going to make you better. It's going to make you feel well. And that's my motivation. It's money is secondary. It's on my list, no doubt about it. But my motivation now is this works. And
all right.
that's my
So
motive.
I will address this, and then we will have to end the call. Is we all know how great and wonderful our products are. You know, I could literally talk to you about the products for days and keep you awake at nights. I love them so much, right? But when we look at our 5 pillars, which is really the product that we have, our product in Nikken is the 5 pillars. Because if it was just the product, we would have just the body pillar. We'll never talk about the other thing, right? So it's important to remember that our offer is the 5 pillars. That's why the first tool that we have is this. When we show this to people is which one jump at you. And you know what the answer usually is? Body and finances. Isn't that the truth? So, and we would not be a total wellness company if we did not address finances, because the reality is, where is the major reason of stress for people in their life all over the world? It's not the body. For most people, fortunately, we're not all, chronically sick, because otherwise we would be really in trouble, right? But most people, it's finances. So if we don't address the finances, we are not addressing wellness. Right? So it's important, even if we come, because a lot of people come into Nikken because of the product. It's important then, as soon as we decide that we want to build and help other people, we need to shift our mind to the next level.
Bernadette, I'd just like to say this is excellent, and the timing's excellent, because we really have been in the retailing mode. And I've heard myself say, if it went from 20,000 in 1 month to 6,000 in 3 months, what's the problem? And I think that's the problem, because we're really not sorting and ranking and really looking for network leaders.
Guys, I know for those of us who've been around, we always talk, it's like Nikken is like being in a rowboat. We have 2 oars, right? One is the product, one is the business. That's what it is. We have retailing, recruiting. You've heard, for those of you who were in Orlando, what did I say? Nikken, we talk in Nikken about balance. Our philosophy is balance in life. Our business doesn't create the success that we want if we don't do the business in balance. What does it mean? It's retailing and recruiting. It's not just one or the other. It has to be both. And I also myself like to bring, is bringing and communicating with people with emotion and rational. We can't just talk about the feeling good. The feeling good is really important, but guys, feeling good doesn't transform people's life from a financial standpoint. So we need to bring the rational and bring the income opportunity. So the key thing is always to remember, if we find ourselves talking more about one than the other, we are not bringing the picture to people. And if for any of us or any of you on the line, if you find yourself that you're shy about the business, because usually that's what it is, it's not the product. Usually the consultant don't have no problem, talking about the product. We actually talk too much of it in our conversation. If you're finding yourself shy about that, find the A's that will bring that balance for you when you are talking to people. That's the way to do it. Who are you? Use your upline, use the network, so they can counterbalance the fact that you're probably spending way too much time and energy on the product. Right? So I hope you all had some good information to you. Remember, can you believe we're already in our 6th month of the year? We have just 7 months to go. I know that many of us on this line and those who will watch this are working towards achieving new leadership rank, gold, the pinnacle for platinum and Team Kaizen. Guys, it's not business as usual. We need to bring our A game. Each and every one of us. It doesn't matter to me where we are, whether we're brand new, whether we've been around for a while, whatever leadership rank we're on. To make what we want to make happen, we need to bring our A game. So it's not business as usual, because business as usual, as we've done it before, is going to give us more of what we've had up to today. And if you're finding yourself is looking at the 5 months of the year saying, okay, I want something different, then something different needs to happen. All right, guys, have a wonderful month. Go at it and just have fun. Have fun, have excitement, and bring a lot of people with you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.